Hey everybody. Oh shit, my camera, I'm crooked. I'm not in the center of the screen. Oh well, I'll move over here. How are you all doing? Here we are, another day. The kitty didn't bite the cable. We're doing good. I'm doing good. God, how are you all doing today? I hope you're all doing good. I'm doing great. Fuck, it's another great day in paradise. It was a drizzly day yesterday when I went to the Apple store, but here we are. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Oh, I watched I guess what? Randall, Randall Smith, Randall Smith, Randy from Mesa Boogie. We did a podcast at Randy's place, and it's on his YouTube channel. So go there and see it. The four of us old friends are sitting there, and we did a little podcast, and it was pretty cool. I hope you like it. I didn't talk too much, but I was having a good time. Uh, yeah, my friends talked more than I did, but I talked a little bit. Anyway, it was really a great podcast, and I hope you guys go there and see it at Randy's channel. So go Randall, Randall Smith, and then you'll see the four of us, our little faces. Just click on it and watch it. Yeah, watch it. Big kitty! Big kitty! Calling the big kitty. He's got to come and join the podcast. Okay, here we go. God, it's such a great day, everybody. How are you doing? Everybody, how are you doing out there? God, every day I say, what am I going to talk about? Then I get a bunch of questions and they remind me of a bunch of stories, and one thing leads to another, and that's how life is. One thing leads to another. I'm doing my hands like Gavin Newsom. Yeah, I better sit on my hands when I start doing that. Yeah, Big Kitty's real name is Orange. His real name is Orange, but I call him Big Kitty because somehow it's easier to say, hello, Big Kitty. Hello. Hello. Here he is, everybody. Hello. Say hello. Say hello. Oh, he's going to go walk over there and fuck with everything. So that's Big Kitty, man. He made his appearance and now he's going cruising. He's so funny. Okay. Oh, I did gigs with Spirit. We did some shows together, but I never really knew those guys. You know how you do shows and you're on the same bill as other acts, but you don't really know the people. So I really didn't know the guys in Spirit, but they all seemed like nice guys. And it was unfortunate that that one guy died in Hawaii in the water. He died too early. So many people died too early. Anyway, it was cool. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Yeah. Hello. Hello. So the big kitty joined us again. Yes. Oh, Terry. Terry, you said the big kitty might have a thing called pika. What is pika, and is there any cure for it? Man, I even have to take the labels off my water bottles when I buy them because he'll eat the labels. He eats plastic bags. I can't have any plastic bags anywhere in the house. He eats them. Any little pieces of plastic, he finds them. So any kind of plastic, I have to instantly put it away because he has this thing about eating plastic, and I'm afraid he'll get plugged up. But and every now and then he gets a piece of plastic and then he'll puke it up, and I'm just so worried it'll plug him up and he'll have a surgery or something. But he's just unrelenting, and it's called pika, huh? That's what you call it, Terry? Pika? Anyway, is there any cure for it? Because it's such a hassle. Now I go buy a zillion bottles of water every couple of weeks, and I have to take all the labels off the water before I bring it in the house, or he'll come and eat the labels right off the bottle. Anyway, how did on Keep the Circle Turning, how How did I get Mary Clayton to sing on it? Well, I needed some backup singers, and I had this idea that like the kind of gospel-y kind of backup singers. So I went to Lou Adler and I asked him because Mary Clayton was on his label, and so I said I wanted her to do it, and she came and did it, and that's how that happened. What can I say? Blow my nose. Okay, Mary Clayton. Yeah. I never met Fleetwood Mac or Peter Green or any of those guys. I think I met Mick Fleetwood once in Malibu. I think he came over to our house. I don't remember. Anyway, I met him briefly, but I really didn't know him. So I think I might have met him once. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Yeah, I can't read music. I never learned to read music. I sort of started, my accordion teacher sort of started that, but I was a faker. You know, I could hear something and play it way easier than reading music. Plus, reading music was really hard. I tried it a few times. I wasn't good at it. So yeah, the basic thing is I can't read music. I can't write music. It's sort of the kind of music I play, it's sort of useless, you know. Yeah. Somebody asked me if I ever played a Rhodes piano. Here's a story for you. I met Harold Rhodes. I knew Harold Rhodes. When I was in that little band, and I was a little organ player in that little band, I played a piano. I had a piano bass that I played on top of my organ and set it up there, and it was a Rhodes piano bass. That's a very obscure instrument. Anyway, Harold Rhodes had just sold his company to Fender at the time. And this is like, it had to be like 1965 or something. And he had just sold his company to Fender, so I went out. I wanted my piano bass to work better, so I went out and saw him, and he kind of hot rodded it a little bit for me. But I got to know him a little bit, not a lot, but a little, you know. But anyway, I met Harold Rhodes, and he was this old guy, and he had just sold his company to Fender, and he was still operating the Rhodes company, and he was sort of phasing out at that point, but he helped me out and dialed me up, and I played piano bass with that organ in that band for like a year and a half, and then after that I never played piano bass again. And I owned a few Rhodes pianos naturally. You know, everybody owned everything back then. There was only a few games in town. There were Wurlitzer pianos, electric pianos, and Rhodes pianos, and that was about it, man, in the world of keyboards and organs. You know, things though changed in the 70s. It started changing fast. But I knew Harold Rhodes. How's that? Oh, somebody asked about the animals and if I had to have permits and all that stuff and how my neighbors felt about it. My neighbors were pretty cool. You know, we lived up in the hills above Mill Valley and way up in the back, up in the hills, up high there. And yeah, my neighbor was cool. I had this one neighbor who was an old guy, and they were kind of cool. They didn't say anything. One time, though, the city or the county or somebody, I think the county, they came up, these guys came up from the county, and I always thought they were going to hassle me. You know, they wanted to know about my cast and everything. So anyway, I took them in the yard with the cheetahs, and I let them play with the tiger. And after that, they were all cool. They couldn't believe it. They had such a good time. But they sort of came up there to hassle me. But I just said, hey, well, these things are totally cool. Come check it out. And I took them in there. And the little tiger, it was a young tiger, and he was jumping all over him. And the cheetahs were coming around, and they had a great time, and they all left, and I never heard from them again. But they sort of came up there to see what was going on because they heard I had all these big cats. One time I was on tour, and somehow Mary let one of the tigers out, and he got out into the hills there, and so there was a house about you wind around the road a couple of times, and there was this house, and there was water coming down by the house, a natural stream and stuff. And so this guy was in his living room with his dog sitting there watching football or something on a Sunday or something. And the tiger just came walking into his living room and sat down next to him, you know. But I was out on tour. I didn't know about this. But so somehow he got our phone number and he called Mary and says, "Hey, I think one of your tigers is here in my house," and and so she went and looked. Sure enough, the tiger was missing. I can't believe she let it out. I thought that's what a bonehead move, because we had double gates and everything. That should have never happened. But anyway, this tiger just came and walked into the guy's living room and sat down on the rug next to him. His dog ran away, and actually he was a little afraid of the tiger. But the tiger was a really cool tiger. He was a good one. His name was Teddy the tiger, and he was real friendly. But the guy was cool. It was a neighbor, and he did. I didn't even know him. He lived like, quite a ways away from me down the road. And the tiger just came walking into his house, man. And somehow I didn't get in trouble for that. God, it was a different time then. If I did that shit today, they'd have everybody be all up my ass, and I would have never got away with that today. But back then it was a different world, you know what I mean? These kind of people did what they did. And anyway, we were crazy, man. But that tiger was really nice. He was a nice tiger. Hey, Big Kitty. Big Kitty's running through here like a rocket ship. He runs from outside to the inside and runs through the space, and because I have a big space here, and so he really loves it. But yeah, the neighbors, man, I can't believe my neighbors were so tolerant, And somebody asked me, did I ever have an animal that I was afraid of? Well, one time we were going to open this animal park. What a bonehead idea. So another one of my crazy ideas. I thought, we'll open this animal park. So my friend Earl Tatum, the guy that hauled all the animals and was the expert animal guy, he brought a bunch of big cats to my place, and he put them there. And they were big adults, and they were mean. And man, every time you go over to the cage, they'd lunge in the cage. And I was really afraid of those cats, man. I wanted them out of there, man. After having those things there for a month or two, I was going, get them out of here. They were just crazy. They were not nice at all. So I had one tiger that was really scared the fuck out of me, but I didn't get anywhere near it, man. I fed it, but that was it. And it was scary. So that was a big mistake. So we got rid of those animals. Yeah. And the guy Earl, he had a place in Visalia, and so we would buy like zebras or pygmy hippos and stuff, and we put them in Visalia at his place there. And then he had a bunch of zebras and stuff that he kind of stored up at Hearst Castle, and they let him roam around up there, and antelopes and stuff. Yeah, that was crazy. You couldn't get away with that shit today. Imagine what would happen today if you brought a bunch of tigers into some area like Mill Valley, man. People would lose their fucking mind, I had 7 cheetahs and 3 tigers and a couple of black panthers and black leopards, as it were. Couple of Canadian lynxes, just all kind of animals. Yeah, I was just crazy. I just bought everything, And they were cheap, like the zoos. Like these things get born in the zoos, and the zoos don't know what to do with them, so they sell them, and they weren't that expensive at all. It was way cheaper than drugs, So when everybody else was doing cocaine, I was buying wild animals and having fun. I think my animals were more fun than the coke was. I did a little bit of coke for a little time. Somebody asked me about the song Oak Fire. Oak Fire was about cocaine, oak fire burning in my brain, It was just like, I didn't like coke, man. It was just not my thing. I'm so lucky it wasn't my thing, because I know some people that really ruined their lives, it took them down. But somehow I was so hyper that it just didn't gel with me, like people do coke and they get all jacked up. Well, I was all jacked up to begin with naturally. So doing coke kind of put me into like, I didn't feel good. Anyway, yeah, so I didn't have any permits for the animals. Day of Change, I don't remember that song too well. I don't remember what it's about because I don't remember it that well. Yeah. Oh, when I read the way I used to do, I would play, because I'm a player first. I played for years before I started singing. I only sang when I realized if I wanted to make money and have success, I had to start singing. So that's what made me start singing. I wasn't like a natural singer guy. I was a natural keyboard player, and then singing came later because I wanted to, have success and be famous and do that stuff. So I realized I had to sing. So I started singing, but I was happy as a keyboard player. Anyway, and somebody asked me, did I write my music with my lyrics? Or did I write the lyrics in the music? I would say 99 and 9/10% of the time, I would just play and start coming up with lyrics while I was playing. So it was always related to my playing. I would play and write the lyrics, and that was my style of writing. I play and sing, and songs come out of that. There's some people that write the lyrics first, and then they write the music. There's any way you can imagine people do it, but my trip was I just played and just started singing, and it just sort of happened organically. Catalog links, yeah. I know there's a lot of ways to link your catalog and link all these different things, but it's beyond me. I'm not good with computers, and I can barely make this podcast work. So it would be great if I knew how to link up with everything and could do all that stuff. Maybe my podcast would be more successful. But I don't know how to do all that stuff, and Dylan is off working and doing his thing. And so I don't have Dylan's help. Yeah, I just basically don't know how to do that. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post, if Dylan, I think, is coming over in the next couple of nights or something. I'm going to post that song. I'll post it as an episode. I'm going to put a picture of, we did a group photo at Randy's house for the Mesa Boogie thing. So I'm going to put the group photo on the page, and then I'm going to play the music. It's going to be a static photo, and I'm going to play the music, and that'll going to be, coming up in one of these episodes. So one of the episodes is going to be that song I recorded a couple of years ago. I'm singing in my own language, and I'm playing. Anyway, tell me what you think of that song. Tell me what you think of that guitar sound. It's guitar based. Just listen to it. Tell me what you think. I really enjoyed playing that, and I enjoyed listening to it back. And usually I hate stuff when I listen to it back. So that was one of the few times that I actually liked something that I did. And it's totally worthless. It's not something that you could sell, or it's like somebody babbling or something. But something about it I like. So I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna link that up for you guys, and you'll be able to hear it. Anyway, so you got to go to Randy's site and watch that thing. It was pretty cool. Randy, we did this 4 guys podcast, and we all sit on this little couch and we all talk, old friends. It's pretty cool. It's a good podcast. Randall, Randall Smith. Randall Smith. Go check that out. I think you'll like it. And if you want to know the history of Mesa Boogie, you can watch some of his episodes, because he tells the whole story. He's highly technical. He's a very humble guy, so he sort of underrates his genius. He's like, there's a certain genius about Randy, but being a humble guy, he doesn't like talk about it. Hey, Phinia. I saw you made a comment on my thing, and you even did a poof. Phinia made a comment in one of the comments yesterday, F-E-N-I-A, and then she did one comment. Well, poof, she said poof. Poof is what we say in the virtual world when we leave. We go poof, and we poof out of there, and we leave. But Phinia has been a collaborator of mine for 15 years. We have this little tribe of people, and we're in there every day for the last 15 years. Think about that. Almost every day for 15 years we've been in the virtual world. And the avatars used to be a lot more primitive than they are now. They look pretty darn good now. They look pretty good. And so she's the girl who's, she's Dutch, but she lives in France with her husband, Cam. And we've all been friends for 15 years, man. That's the coolest thing. But she got the apps for AI. We watched that Kelly Bosch's website, and she's generous enough to tell the apps she used. So we got some of those apps, and Phinia is using those, and we're converting our avatars in the virtual world to AI. And the first time she did it, this one avatar is really, I told you about her before, Boa Tutti. she's a star. She's just like, we've designed her to be a movie star, and because we were making a movie in the virtual world, and so she was like, designed for that. She's made for that. Well, anyway, AI made her look like a real person. It was shocking. And the very first test we did, it turned out so good, and we've barely scratched the surface. So Phineas, and you got to understand, she's really super creative, and so. Yeah, she's so creative. So when she gets into stuff, she just gets so intense, and she just does it nonstop. Like, she's just like doing it. So right now she's like into the AI, and we talk, and so we meet or we talk in the virtual world every day, and yeah. She's so into it, man, and she's WhatsApping me from France and telling me all the latest shit and showing me little tests that she's doing, and it's just getting better and better and better. Anyway, hi Phinia, nice seeing you comment on my podcast. That kind of tripped me out. I went, whoa, there you are on my thing. So you can look at that. That's her. Yeah. And Cam said hi. Hi, Cam. Cam is her husband, and he's not in the virtual world very much anymore, but he used to be like the leader of our tribe, and he's French, and they live in a really nice area of France. God, it's so nice where they live. Anyway, hi, Cam. I'm glad you said hi. That made me feel good. It put a smile on my face, man. Put a smile on my face. Oak Fire was about cocaine. So somebody asked me about my favorite bands. Like, I've talked about that in past episodes, so you can go back and look at that in past episodes, because in different eras I like different bands. Like, and it kind of, how time goes on. Certain decade you like certain people, certain times you like in the 80s, like I like Prince. Like, I thought Prince was like, he had a 7 or 8, 10-year period where everything he did was magic, man. He did so many great songs. Purple Rain, I love that song. Anyway, Prince there was just a time. It's really funny how when people get really extremely, people just explode. Some of the people that are really great, you hear their stuff, and they have a window of years where everything they do is magic. Like, I can remember when Stevie Wonder, there was a period of time where everything Stevie Wonder did was just mind-blowing. It was so good, and you can't keep that up forever. Every dog has its day. So that's what they say, every dog has its day. So, yeah, Stevie Wonder, there was a period where he did that. And then there was a period where Prince came along, right when MTV first came out. In the early 80s, I heard Little Red Corvette, and I went, whoa, Little Red Corvette, this guy's cool. Who is this? And it was Prince. And then he went on to just write song after song, and he was so musical and so creative, and some of the songs were so genius. Like, yeah, just God, he was on fire, man. He was so good. Such a shame he died. But every dog has its day, man. He had his day, man. He was on fire, man. I would say he was the best thing in the 80s for me, anyway. Yeah. Different decades, you hear different people, and they really affect you, Like, so right now, there's a lot of artists I really like that you all would probably hate. They're doing hip-hop and stuff, but there's some really good... People think all hip hop is hardcore rap and calling women hoes, but it's not. It's like it's so vast and it's so big, and it's affected every kind of music. You can go to India and hear music and it's affected by hip hop. All over the world, everybody's affected by hip hop. So once again, it's sort of like AI. Some people are putting down AI. Some people just refuse to like hip hop. And some of these guys are so musical, and they're doing counter melodies behind their songs. It's just fucking brilliant, and that's why I go in new releases all the time, because you never know what you're going to hear, man. Just amazing shit. And so that's really good, I know sometimes people get stuck in a decade and they listen to that for their whole life. Like, they have a decade where they were young and that was the music that meant something to them. So that's the music they listened to their whole life. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not nostalgic. So I'm always thinking, God, I can't believe this. What's next? What's next? And so, wow, what's next is people are creative. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. It's a little weird to think that creativity would skip a generation. Like to imagine that there's a generation just imagine there'd be a generation that's not creative. That's impossible. It's impossible. And now people, I hate to say this, guys. I know you're not going to like hearing this, but people are more creative than ever, and they're more fearless than ever. Like it used to be, people were pretty. They stick to that format, Even though bands sounded different and stuff, there was a sameness about all that music from that era, the classic rock era. But man, every now and then something comes along, like when punk came along, fuck, I was blown away. I thought, this is so raw and so real. And I didn't like punk music especially, but I fucking got it, totally got it. I felt totally lame, man. When I first heard punk, I thought, oh, I'm just beyond lame. These guys are real, man. They're real. And it's sort of when you think about music, that's what it is, like if it's real, it connects with you. So like, I remember hearing punk and I knew it was real. It was real and raw and full of emotion. And I said, man, this is real. And, but it wasn't the kind of music that I liked particularly, but it was real as shit. It was real enough to make me feel lame. I'll tell you that. Anyway, so, yeah. So when you ask me who my favorite bands are, yeah, it's constantly changing. It's more like ask me which era you like, and I'll tell you which bands I liked. But once again, I've sort of always gravitated towards R&B. I know I mentioned Delbert McClinton. I went for a bunch of years where, man, Delbert McClinton blew my mind, man. He made so many great albums. If you'd never listened to Delbert McClinton, you should listen to him. You guys, I've talked to some people, they don't know who he is. And I go, I can't believe they don't know who Delbert McClinton is. How's that possible? He's like one of just the greatest singer guys that ever lived, Anyway, but once again, I don't, like the last few years or so, I don't listen to much Delbert, because I'm listening to new stuff and, it goes. But there's always each decade, there's great shit to listen to, and I get excited by it. But people now are fearless, like people take chances, and a lot of these people aren't really virtuoso musicians. They're more like manipulators of the media, and they make these hip hop records and make drum beats and stuff, and they're sort of fearless, Naturally, a lot of them sound similar. But some of them are very creative and they take chances and they do stuff, and it always feels good when people are taking chances. Hello. You getting tired of the podcast? You getting tired of the podcast, big boy? Here's Big Kitty. He's telling me, come on. It's enough podcasts. Oh, somebody said to me, I must have known about studios because I had a studio and studios I learned really fast. You know what I mean? Like my second album, I bought a board. I saw music from Big Pink, and I thought, oh, I could get a board like they have, and I could make my own records. And so I just learned as I just got the stuff and learned. But it's not that complicated. Like you see those big mixing boards, there's all those sliders and stuff. But each slider is exactly the same. So if you learn one channel strip, one row, if you learn one row, you know all the rows because they're all the same. They're all repeats. So it was pretty simple in that respect. And they have these EQ controls, which are sort of sophisticated bass and treble controls. So it really wasn't that hard to learn how to work a studio. You press record, And so producing boils down to taste or getting the best performance out of an artist. I don't remember I produced, Herb Albert came to me once and said, maybe you'd be a good producer, because I was kind of like, hyper, and maybe I'd be a good producer. So then I helped him sign a couple of bands to A&M, and I produced this one band, and it turned out to be not a good record. I probably shouldn't have produced that band, but I thought, oh, I'm a producer, I'm going to produce a band. But anyway, it didn't turn out that good. But once again, I didn't know a whole lot, but I knew I could hear, bass and treble, and that needs more treble, that needs more bass, and there was all the sliders. It was pretty basic shit, It wasn't like rocket science. It wasn't hard like computers are hard. Hey, whatever you're doing, don't do it. I'm talking to the cat, man. He's looking weird. He's looking at shit. Hey, stop that. Anyway, the kitty's freaking me out. Okay. And somebody asked me if I had a favorite album. Like, once again, I throughout the years, there was different albums I liked. But I would say the last 15 years or so, I don't listen to albums. I'm not an album kind of guy, I listen to songs. And I think that has to do with the way media is presented, like the streaming services and everything, like iTunes and Spotify. They're really individual songs. It's not often you go and, hey, don't do that. Well, I'm taking the kitty. He's biting something. Be right back. Hey, don't do that. Anyway, I think, is there some plastic over there? What is he chomping on? Hey. Anyway, I'm freaking out, big kitty. But yeah, so I don't listen to albums really anymore. I listen to individual songs. And like in the old days, remember in the old days, you'd buy an album and maybe not all the songs you totally loved, but you loved a couple of songs in the albums. Well, now, you can listen to go through all the songs on an album, and you only have to grab one or two. You grab the ones you like, and you move on. And so you have to be a hardcore fan to buy somebody's whole album these days. Usually people just grab individual songs, and it's a subscription, so you can buy as many songs as you want. I mean, you can grab as many songs as you want. It doesn't cost you anything to grab songs once you're subscribed. It's unlimited. So. Yeah, it's unlimited. I'm looking at the kitty. He's bugging me, man. So yeah, we're living in the future, everybody. We're living in the future, and the songs are cool, man. Just buy songs. I know I keep saying I'm going to tell you the songs I like, and you can go hear them. I'll have to do that. I'm so lazy. I got so many things I'm doing. I'm just crazy. I'm lazy. I guess that's the best thing. Yeah, I didn't know about studios, but I learned pretty fast. Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm not going to go back and watch Seinfeld episodes. I don't care how good you guys thought this episode or that episode was. I'm just not interested in watching any Seinfeld. Just like I'm not a TV guy, it's just not me. I'm not going to watch Gilligan's Island. I don't care how much you like it. I'm not going to watch it. Somebody asked me if I listened to Berlin or Warland 7. Yeah, I don't know who those bands are. I have no idea who they are, and I probably won't know who they are. You can't listen to everything, a lot of stuff out there, but I don't know those bands. Okay. Somebody asked me, this is a good question. Somebody asked me if I ever got that organ back that was repossessed. No, I didn't get that organ back, but I went on to build my super organ with a generator that went an octave lower. So maybe in a way that was good that organ got repossessed, because I would have never got that super organ together if I hadn't lost that organ. So like one thing leads to another. At the time, it was a real tragedy. It turned me into a stand-up singer. On my first album, I was a stand-up singer, not an organ player, because my organ got repossessed. And I was so close to getting a record deal. I said, I'm not going to let that hold me back. I was really going for it. So I thought, I'll just hire a band and sing, and I hated being a stand-up singer, and I could hardly wait to get another organ. But I couldn't let that hold me back. I was right there. So my first album, I was like a stand-up singer. That's kind of funny. And it was a funny little album. I like that album. That's how we sounded. I had a band and we sounded like that at first album. And the second album I really liked, and A&M didn't like that album. They said I spent too much time in the studio. And so the third album with Frosty, when Frosty came on board, we did, like I said, we did that album like in 7 hours and 45 minutes or something. And because A&M complained because I took too much time in the recital album. I spent $35,000. They said that was too much, and I was being indulgent. But that's when I got my own little studio, and I was tripping out. But I kind of like recital. I was trying to do I was trying to make a cool record. Anyway, I tried real hard on that record, and it wasn't that successful. But the next record, we just played our live set in the studio, and it was probably one of the most popular records in terms of long-term people liking it. So that's the end of all the shit today. I've answered all your questions. My podcast is turning into a question and answer podcast, but I guess everything has a life of its own. It has to grow into what it is. And Dylan's not here, so I don't have anybody to talk to. And anyway, yeah, I guess my podcast is what it is. Yeah, somebody pointed out that I have over 900 subscribers. I looked, I said, wow, I have over 900 subscribers. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers. When I have 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to tell you guys that story. You're not going to believe it. So I'm going to get out of here because I'm repeating myself. Everybody, go to Randall, Randall Smith, and watch our little interview. Get some, and while you're watching the interview, you can hear all the people in the background. The party's going on downstairs, and they're all making noise. And we're clear upstairs, and it's so loud still upstairs you can hear it all. So it's kind of funny that the interview's good, and you get a feel for the Mesa Boogie event. But I'm going to post a picture of a group shot at the Mesa Boogie event. We all got together for a group shot. My friend Ralph took the picture. Ralph Starkweather, famous photographer, great photographer, man. This guy can take any camera and make a great picture. He's just gifted as a photographer. Yeah. He took a picture with his iPhone, and it's just the most brilliant picture, but it's like he just knows when to press the button, man. He looks in there and goes, now, click, and great. Anyway, you look at that picture, everybody's smiling. This is a great picture of everybody. Everybody in the whole picture looks great. And it's just like, what a group shot. Ralph, thank you very much, my friend. I sent that picture to Randy, and Randy thanked Ralph too, man, because that was really good. It's so neat. Ralph sort of like taught me a lot about cameras and stuff, and his eye is good. You know, when you go into Sammy's camera in LA, not anymore, but before, and there used to be all these giant pictures all around Sammy's up on the wall, on the ground floor there. That was all Ralph's pictures. Ralph was, it was all Ralph's pictures. Sammy died this last year or so, and bye, Sammy. I got to talk to him before he died. We were hanging out at Killer Shrimp, and but Sammy's, yeah, he did a great thing, man. The best camera store on the West Coast, man. And yeah, Sammy died. But he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Anyway, so go watch Randy's podcast. Watch us all talking down, get a feel for the old friends. And I'll see you all tomorrow. This was episode 152, I believe, or 152, yeah. Or maybe it was 153. I might be wrong. I better go check. I might have to change it. I wrote 152, but maybe I think it's 153. I'm so spaced out. Anyway, okay, everybody. I'm out of here. 3, 2, 1, poof.